Hello, my name is Sarah and today I want to talk to you about the pressure of productivity, which is something that I actually really personally struggle with and I think that our society is terrible at. We are under this constant pressure that we have to be productive. I've realised that sometimes when I'm messaging my friends and we're talking about, oh, how's your day gone? I measure how well my day has gone in how productive it has been. And I will often reply, oh, good, it's been productive, or oh, not so good, I haven't been very productive today. And that is how I measure how good my day is. Even if I've actually had a really dull day because I've had to get through a lot of tasks that aren't very interesting, at least it's been productive. But actually, even if I've had an exciting day because I've spent it playing with my daughter or time with the family, I'll suddenly decide it's not been good because it hasn't been productive. How crazy is that? But it's rife in our society. Even as I was writing this reflection, ironically, an email dropped in my inbox and the headline of that email was, "Tips to be productive." It's crazy how we are constantly told you must be productive. But what counts as productive? Why do I count work as productive but not time with my family? I think it's because it's easier to feel productive when you can see or measure the results. So I think that sorting out a room in my house is very productive because I can walk into it the next day and see that everything is wonderful and organised and this makes me happy. Or I can see that I've got through my to-do list for things I need to do for work and I've ticked them off. I can see that I have done that. I can measure it. That makes me happy. Time with the family, I can't measure what that's done. But actually, the effects of investing in my family, the effects of investing in those relationships will last for years to come. But I can't actually measure them, so I don't regard them as productive. And this puts pressure on us as humans to be productive all the time. And this pressure has negative effects on our bodies, physically, and on our mental health. And we can see that it comes out in stress, it comes out in anxiety, it comes out in not being able to sleep. Ironically, it comes out in not having any motivation to do anything because you feel so much stress to do everything. It's counterproductive. And the reason that this has such a negative effect on us as humans is because we are humans. We are not machines. We are not made to sit in a production line and churn out thing after thing after thing after thing until the day that we die. That is not what we were made for. I think there's 3 reasons that's not what we were made for. The first is that as humans, we are relational. We are made for relationships with one another, with God, with those around us. And you know what? You cannot measure a relationship. Yes, there are signs that a relationship is healthy or unhealthy, but actually you can't say this has been a very productive relationship or this has not been a very productive relationship. You shouldn't approach people and decide what you can get from them. That's not healthy. Actually, we're not meant to measure relationships. They are not something that we can write down graphs about. Yeah, you can study them, but actually they're not a measurable quantity. The second thing is that we are emotional. Emotions are a good thing, even the ones that we don't like. We have all of that breadth of emotions, and that's what makes us human, and actually they are great. That's what makes us love people. That's what gives us compassion towards other people. That's what makes us angry when we see injustice. Like, emotions are good things, and actually it's okay to feel however you feel, and we should take note of our emotions, take note of making sure we're looking after our emotional health. Machines don't have emotions. And the final thing is that we are spiritual beings. This is being increasingly recognised outside of religious circles. People are recognising that actually we are all spiritual beings. We all have a spirituality that we need to invest in, that we need to work on. We were made for a relationship with each other, but we were also made for a relationship with God. We are spiritual beings with souls that need nourishing, that need looking after. John Mark Comer says in his book, The Elimination of Hurry, hurry is the great enemy of spiritual life. And isn't our society one that hurries? And maybe this time has made us stop and reflect on that. And I hope that we don't just go back into the rush and the hurry of society when this lockdown does eventually come to an end. And it reminds me of that very famous psalm, Psalm 23, which is where the Lord is my shepherd comes from. It says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." Allow the Good Shepherd, who is Jesus, to lead you beside still waters. When life may feel like a complete tidal wave, it's the still waters that he takes us to so that we can stop and drink and be refreshed. He makes us lie down in green pastures. And most importantly, he restores my soul. That is productive. You can't measure it because you cannot measure how emotional, relational and spiritual we are. They are not things that are meant to be measured because humans are not meant to be measured in their productivity. So say no to that pressure and take time out to do something that, if you want to call it productive if that helps. Actually invest in your spiritual, emotional and relationships. And take that opportunity to let God restore your soul. If you want to read a bit more about this from people who put it a lot better than me, I'm going to put a link in the comments to the book that I mentioned, John Mark Comer's The Elimination of Hurry, and where you can buy that, and also to this one, Sabbath as Resistance by Walter Brueggemann. They are both very good books that go into these topics further. But let's be people who say no to the pressure of productivity, because we are humans, we are not machines. Have a good week.